Hi guys, Norm with you again, and this is my Audioline PT-342 hideaway radio, which you may have seen in a previous video, and you can see it's all there and fully working. I had to recap this one, and that got it back fully working, but I've now got another one, and this is something I wonder why people do this. Drill holes in the case. Why would you do that? And that's not the worst of it. Look at this side. Why? Why is there a need to do that? I mean, okay, maybe you've put 2 holes to screw it to something. But you've got the bracket mounts on the side. You just bend a little bit of metal, like an L-shaped bracket, and you hold the thing up. Why the hell do you need to drill holes in a case like that? What the hell was the point in that? Somebody tell me. And I've got a Uniden 200, which is exactly the same. Been drilled with multiple holes all over it. Now, this radio does not work. I've got the mic for it here. And one thing I noticed on the mic, 2 switches are missing. See if we compare to that one. It's got tone, what's it, high and low power, and the tone switch is not working. And so let's now, wait a minute, pause, oops, out of control, pause. Okay, so this is the other one. If I turn it on, we get a bit of white noise. Nothing happens when I key the mic. Oh, the channel display's come on now. That's weird. That just came on out of nowhere. Have we got TXRX now? No TXRX, but the channel display has come to life. Does the squelch work? Yes. The volume does not work. And the channel display's gone off again. So this is let's give the cable a wiggle again. On the display, no, nothing coming on the display. Right, so what I want to do now is unplug this mic, or unplug this control unit, rather, and plug in the control unit from the other one. Right, so in theory, now we know this hand unit is good, and it focused on it, that's good, so we turn it on. All we get is green TX light. There is just a very bad sort of buzzing noise and not working at all. So no channel display either coming up on that. So it's weird how the channel display appeared for a minute when I had the other mic plugged in, and how we've got white noise with this hand unit plugged in, because there's no white noise on the known good mic. Now, with the 2 switches missing, has something been done inside this? Has this radio been messed around with so they made it have some white noise just so they could sell it? I don't know. I'm going to turn this one on now. It's definitely white noise, the volume isn't working. It's on maximum volume at all times. Squelch does work. I was going to say there's no TX and RX, but the TX RX light did light up then for a bit. Again, no channel display. So this is a weird one, people. So I think the first thing to do, because all of the capacitors in the other one were bad, I think the first thing to do is get this open, check a few voltage rails, and just replace all the caps as a first job. Well, first of all, let's get it open, because we don't know, whoever drilled all these holes, did they take the case off and drill the holes, or did they drill the holes straight through while the case was on? Have they damaged components? Who knows? But why do people do it? I mean, sure, you want to mount the radio, you drill a little hole this side, a little hole that side, and you mount the fucking thing. You don't drill 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 holes on that side and 2 holes on that side. Why? You just, and that's, because I mean, there's no way I can get new cases for this. And so the case is ruined forever. But, that's how it is, I suppose. Okay then, well, let's get this, make sure this thing's turned off. Okay, right, let's get this open and have a look at it. Pause. Alright, well, all the screws are out. Let's have a look together at how bad this is. Whew. Well, all in all, not looking too bad. It's got a modification here by the looks of it. They've got some wires there going down to the other side. What's this? There's some, looks to be some wires. Oh, I don't think that's original. So let's get in the other side. And what have we got? Well, okay, so it could be original. I would have to check with the other one, but that just doesn't seem quite right to me, that, because the board is supposed to connect down through, and they must have found that these two connections weren't connecting, so they've wired through, and the same with these ones. The actual board up here has gone down through the circuit, and they've obviously rewired it to there for some reason. It's like, yeah, because you can see where the board is coming through. You couldn't see because I was probably out of camera on it. You can see where the board's coming through, and those should be soldered direct to there. So this is what the problem's going to be, is that either they've miswired it or something just isn't quite right with what they've done. It's not looking good, is it, at all, really? Someone's clearly tried to repair this before, and they've bridged a few connections, or they've broke a few connections that they've had to bridge. You see, because you can see there, those connections are supposed to be connected where they are and soldered up, and that connection looks like it's still there. So why they didn't just bridge some solder across there, I don't know. It does look like this one is gone, Yeah, so I think the only thing I can do with this really is take off this bodge, and we're going to call it a bodge because it's really not done right, and it could have been done so much better. I think we're going to have to take off all that, get this actual inside board out, and see where all the bad traces are, and try and do something about it. Good. Right, so what I've got to do now is disconnect all of these, and then we'll come back. I've got to move the camera out the way, obviously, because it's in the way, and that's not good. So join me in a bit. Okay, so that came off fairly nicely. We can see that there's one trace here which is bad, and one here which is a bit bad. And that one is basically broke, but the others seem okay on that side, and the ones on this side, they do all seem okay. So that's not looking bad. And we get to this bit, which technically is that way around. We can see what's happened there. Oops, still got that on. Where are we? Are we zoomed in? Yeah. So we can see all of the tracks and traces are gone. So obviously when that's poking through and you're trying to solder onto it, there's nothing to fix to. So my plan is to use very thin wires from a transformer, insulated wires, and bring the wires up through here from these joints, and then we can solder them where they need to be. And so that's what I'll do. I will obviously take all this jumble of wire off, and we'll do that now. There's also seems to be two extra wires here, a red and this solo white one. I don't know what they're for, but we'll leave them for a minute. We'll just take off this big connection. Okay, I've just been having a little look at that offline, and it seems like this grey wire here is just going to this trace, and you can see it looks like they tried to join it to the trace there, but obviously that didn't give continuity, so they put a wire in, and it looks like the same with this red wire. The red wire was just not connecting to where it should do, so they put a trace in. Let's remove those as well now. Okay, this is not really good. I guess they did what they needed to do to try and get it working. Alright, so that is looking way much better at the minute, but it's still pretty bad. So what I'm going to do off camera, because it's going to be a pain doing it on camera, is I'm going to desolder all of this and then resolder it, and then I'm going to make all the connections that need to be connected up here. And when we're actually ready to do these connections and these, I will come back and start recording again. But for now, I'm just going to tidy this right up and make sure all the connections are going where they need to. And then I'll be right back. Okay, so that may take a bit of time. So what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to call it quits for this video. We'll call this part 1, and in part 2, when I come back, that will all be cleaned up and we'll be ready to start doing this board. So thanks for watching, guys. Join me in the next one to see how this gets finished.